We decided to attend FlightSimExpo. This is our 4th year now coming to the show. It's really incredible, one of the best home flight sim shows that are out there that are available. So being able to come here, interact with all of our customers, new customers, existing customers, show off our new technology, and really get to see what else is going on in the industry is amazing.
Absolutely amazing. The reception has been amazing from everybody. A lot of people didn't realize how big we were. We have 32 of our team here, and that's important to come to these events because then it gives you that visibility of our audience and our customers.
I'm getting to see a lot of new people. I love the diversity. There's a lot of different backgrounds here.
I just really love it. I'm gonna be honest, I just love the experience. Everyone's very friendly and very excited and pumped about being here, so every single person.
The best part about coming to the expo is meeting all the people that care about aviation, and you can feel the love for aviation in every conversation we have.
I really like that everybody here is so friendly.
I've been flight simming for 30 plus years now, and there weren't anything like this in the past.
Meeting the community, meeting the developers, meeting my other fellow flight sim pilots, it's been awesome.
I'm happy to see that I'm around people that's interested in the same thing that I'm interested in.
So I would highly recommend coming to FlightSimExpo. If you have any interest in home flight simulation, professional flight simulation, tons of exhibitors, tons of new equipment, new technology, it's really an amazing place to be.
Events like FS Expo just really give the public and the flight simming community the opportunity to connect with the developers, connect with the hardware, get to see all of the products, and it's an absolute must to come to these events. It really is.
The love for aviation binds us all together, and to see the people that actually use it in person and to feel how much it means to them, it's wonderful.
Hello and welcome everybody to what is going to be a really cool and exciting hour. My name is Callum from FS Elite, and I am joined by Evan from the Flight Simulation Association team, and we're here to talk all about FlightSimExpo 2024. Welcome, Evan.
Hello. It's been like a week since I saw you last, and how many countries have we both been in?
It's just mad, isn't it? And it's becoming a regular occurrence. I saw you in February, I saw you in March.
So you're saying it's too much?
June. No, it's never too much to see you.
Oh.
But yeah, obviously we're here to talk about June. We're here to talk about FlightSimExpo 2024. We have absolutely tons of news to get through.
Yes,
we
do.
have a bunch of cool special guests as well joining us throughout the show. So if you are watching, do stick around because we have all sorts to talk about, and we also have a massive giveaway at the end of the show as well, which you are definitely going to want to learn more about once we get to that point as well. So very quickly, Evan, maybe just give us a very brief introduction of yourself and a little bit about what FlightSimExpo is all about, and then we'll talk a little bit more about how you can get there and also some of the things that we can also do in Las Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, FlightSimExpo, I'd like to hope everyone watching has at least an idea of what we're doing, and if you were at FS Weekend like Callum and I were, you definitely have an idea of what FlightSimExpo is all about, but it really is just bringing the community together, giving us an opportunity to connect, to meet in person, to hang out. You've got exhibitors from some of the biggest names in home flight simulation, product announcements from those same names. We have educational seminars submitted by folks from around the community, and then even outside of the show hours, different activities and excursions, from tours that we'll talk about in a few minutes to fun group activities, night out on the strip. The whole thing is just bringing this hobby that we know and love from the virtual world into the real human world for those of you who can make it to Las Vegas. And of course, just like in previous years, if you can't join us in person, then we do have access to the limited online only show. Doesn't give you the whole experience by any means, but at least you'll be able to still participate and get a sense as to what's happening. You'll see all the biggest announcements streamed live.
Yeah, and I think whilst the online thing is really cool, I think the big experience of this is actually being together in person, all in that one big space. So obviously trying to be at the show is the important thing. And obviously everyone who is tuning in today is very keen to learn about who's actually going to be there in terms of our exhibitors. And we're going to talk all about them really soon. But I think one of the biggest things a lot of people want to know is, getting to Vegas, not necessarily the cheapest place in the world to get to, especially if you're traveling from overseas like myself. Maybe you can talk a little bit more about, the effort that you and the team have put in order to try and make this as financially affordable as possible for people looking to come to the show.
Yeah, we get it. Like, it is expensive, and this is a hobby for a lot of people. And if you're somebody who has a family, maybe you're bringing the family, that's awesome. Maybe you have to tell your partner, hey, I'm going to Vegas for the weekend, and if we can try to make that a little more affordable, right? That's definitely better. So we've really tried to make it easy. If you go to flightsimexpo.com/travel, you will find our discounts on airfare, on the hotel rooms, on rental cars. We've just really tried to make it a nice, easy package for you. There's a link where you can book your hotel rooms. The rate is like 150, 170-ish dollars all in, including taxes, fees across a 3-night stay. That's going to include a $25 F&B credit for you to use on site at the Rio. That's of course going to include your room. And those rooms are in the newly renovated Ipanema Tower. I was there about a month ago. They are like literally brand new. They look really nice. They've done a very nice job with the whole renovation that's going on at the property right now. I do want to let everybody know, very important, that you do pay attention. There's going to be cheaper rooms available. If you go to a booking website, you can definitely find rooms that are cheaper than ours. Those are in the non-renovated original tower. You're more than welcome to stay there. Just know it's not going to be the same experience as the brand new renovated rooms. I did look at both. I made the decision that we were going to only book rooms in the newly renovated tower. So again, if you go to our website, you book with us, you're totally fine. If you did book somewhere else and you're like, oh wow, I got a much cheaper rate, you probably did, but just know that there is a bit of a difference in the quality. So hey, if you want to save some money, that's definitely something you can do. Just again, know that you won't necessarily get all those benefits listed on our website, and you might not necessarily get the same experience, but we've really tried to make it easy. So everything you need to know about coming to the show, including all those discounts, airfare discounts with Delta, United, Southwest, including for international attendees, they're all at flightsimexpo.com/travel.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And I think if you've come to previous shows, and in particular the Houston show where we were kind of separated into 2 different hotels and the event being at a museum, I think what's really cool about this year's show is the fact everything is in one central location. So everyone's going to be all in the same place. So organizing meetups is going to be so much easier. Obviously, all the exhibitors and attendees all in one place. So, it's a really, in my personal opinion, it's much nicer the fact we are all together in one place. So there's no second guessing, which is going to be the quote party hotel.
Yes. And by the way, we've sold out the room block like 4 times already, and I added 100 rooms today, so they are there and ready to be booked.
So you've heard it here. Book your rooms if you come in.
Yes.
Just before we introduce Q8 Pilot to talk about a little bit more detail on some other things as well, Vegas, known to be the entertainment capital of the world. Obviously, beyond the show, there's so much more to do. Maybe you can give us an idea of just some of the things that maybe people would be interested in kind of looking at or attending to do at the show as well, outside of the show, I should say.
Yeah, at and outside for sure. So we've got 4 days up on the screen here. I'm just going to talk briefly about Thursday because I know we've got some developers watching. One of the things that we've done both in Houston and again this year is we know all the flight sim developers are kind of here for the weekend. And so we wanted to give us a chance to basically connect with the developers and the community. So anyone who's exhibiting or sponsoring at the show, that's Thursday. In the past, we've gotten questions, people going, hey, what's going on Thursday? It is exclusively for FS Expo exhibitors and sponsors. That includes Virtual Airlines, Vatsim, that includes obviously the developers who are exhibiting and sponsoring at the show. And that's an opportunity for us to basically have a safe discussion about all that's going on in the community. So that's happening Thursday. If you're an exhibitor or a sponsor, you're more than welcome to join us. For everybody else, I think a lot of people will probably be coming in on Thursday. And for those of you doing that, we're going to have a whole bunch of fun activities that go out first thing Friday morning. So we'll have more detail on those activities probably in about 2 weeks, but some of those will include ATC tours on Friday morning. We've also got a trip to the Mob Museum. We have really cool kind of outdoor, I don't even know how to describe it, John Halverson, you can try to communicate it in the chat if you want, but it's like this outdoor sandbox for adults where you get to drive some heavy machinery, including with an open bar. I think that's after you do the digging. And there's also a supercar experience. So all those activities are optional excursions that we brought in. You remember those last year from Houston where we had the museum, we had access to the Space Center. That same concept we brought to Las Vegas. So for anyone coming in either Thursday night, Friday morning, those will be the first opportunity for you to hang out with those optional activities. Then we get into things on Friday at 1 o'clock with our FS Expo Friday, seminars. We'll have a series of product announcements, new reveals, updates from developers, and a whole lot more going on Friday. That's followed by our attendee welcome reception and some fun activities, again, optional, that you can purchase on Friday night. Show is Saturday and Sunday. That's when our exhibit halls open. All of our educational seminars will be happening. And on Saturday evening, we're also going to have a series of optional excursions. That'll include trips to the Strip, that'll include comedy, that'll include magic, and a whole lot more. So those activities and this schedule, you will find out more about that in about 2 weeks. We're working on the speaker schedule right now. We wrapped up our survey where you voted on all of the seminars that were submitted, and we're taking that feedback as we put together that speaker schedule. So in about 2 weeks, you're going to see the full speaker schedule. You'll see the full set of activities and tours that are available for optional purchase this year. And then about 2 weeks after that, you'll be able to actually register. So all that stuff is coming, but of course we wanted to get you the exhibitors first because those are always everyone's favorite.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just as a side note, from what I remember last year, the extra excursions and activities, they went really quickly. So
Yes,
if you
they
are
did.
interested in these, you need to act fast. You need to make sure you've got your ticket. So you need to register ASAP, and we'll talk about registration a little bit later, but do it now. And also then you can make sure you can book those excursions and tours as soon as they come out. So we've talked a little bit about the show, a little bit about Vegas and kind of some of the itinerary, but the person who's kind of brought all of this together really today is our good friend Q8 Pilot. So please, let's welcome Q8 Pilot to the discussion.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure the microphone's unmuted. And Q8, very much big thank you to you. Welcome.
Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
thank you for kind of putting all this together. We do have other special guests who you've obviously invited to talk about the show and react to the exhibitor video that's going to come shortly. But it'd be really cool to learn about your experience in Houston last year, and also what you thought of it and why you think more content creators should try and attend this year's show.
Well, last year was my first time at FS Expo, so it was the first show that I attend, and I was it was really a great time on a personal level because I got to meet everyone. I got to meet all the content creators who happened to be my friends, but they were all, we were all kind of meeting virtually or talk behind Discord. So the human connection was very important, I think, for me on a personal note. And definitely looking at all the exhibits, looking at all the new stuff that's coming to the world of flight sim was another thing. And the logistics, I think I was blown away by what Flight Sim Association has done in collaboration with you guys, FS Elite. I think the show was just outstanding at all levels. It was a fun show to be at, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Now, I think for attendees, for people, just flight sim hobbyists, flight simmers, I think the show is an opportunity to test products firsthand and get a feel for what's coming. Or if you've been contemplating about buying something, that's an opportunity for you to actually, physically interact with hardware, with the software. It's an opportunity to also meet your favorite content creator. I know we interact with them behind the chat walls on our streams, but then it's an opportunity for them to also meet in person. And it's also a great place to be. Vegas is a great place to be. Houston was a great place to be. And there's a lot of opportunities for networking as well.
Absolutely. And I think the networking aspect is why these things are super important. And it was so good to actually meet you in person last year. I came up by your booth. We had a good conversation. And it's so nice to actually be able to put faces to names to faces and stuff. So one of the big things that we are really trying to push is to try and get as many exhibitors at the show as possible. We're about to do the reveal of the largest partners reveal that FlightSimExpo has ever had. But there is still time and there is still space for anyone else who is considering to come. Q8, what would you say to developers who may be on the fence or contemplating about coming to the show, and what would you say to them and trying to convince them that actually coming to FlightSimExpo is a really good way to meet your fans and also get feedback from the community?
I think it's very important for developers to be at a show like FS Expo for the simple reason of the amount of people that are going to be there. You're going to be exposed to people from different cultures, different backgrounds, um, with different level of experience in flight simming. Some are real world pilots, some are avid flight simmers, but some are beginners as well. And this is, I think, the opportunity for developers to meet those guys, get feedback from all walks of all levels from those simmers. I think it's very important to not only just get the feedback from the attendees or from the flight simmers, but also from the content creators. And FS Expo is hosting probably the largest number of content creators, at least the ones that we know, the famous ones. So I think it's an opportunity for developers to test out their products, test the waters.
I would 100% agree. I mean, us as FS Elite, we're always there trying to do interviews. I know there are plenty of streamers there as well who go around with their cameras, interacting with fans, trying things out, and then reporting it back to their community. Would you think, I mean, this is feedback we've had from developers in the past, that sometimes they're a bit nervous about coming to these shows because they're worried that all those people they see online who complain or moan or whinge or attack in the comment
No, not in
sections,
Flight
do you
Sim.
think that's the case?
No, not in Flight Sim.
That never happens.
Never, never.
Do you think that's the case, or do you think the reception is, totally different at these in-person shows?
I'll be look. It's I'll tell you from experience, Callum. I think those guys who moan behind the chat walls, if they actually do meet you in person, I think they'll be very nice. I don't think that the fact that you don't know who those people are behind, hiding behind the, behind the chat there. Yeah, they can say whatever they want, but I don't think at least from my personal experience, no one has ever. I've never met anyone at FS Expo or elsewhere in person where they were rude or not nice or moaning about the product. But it's an opportunity for them to give you, and developers, all developers and content creators as well, need to be open to constructive criticism. If somebody has something important to say, I think, we owe it to ourselves and to the community to listen to them.
I 100% agree. And I think most people are there with really good intentions. They're going to give you honest, on the spot feedback. And I think that's always a benefit for everybody. So we are just a few moments away now from the reveal trailer that we've all put together for you guys who are watching. But before we do cue it, I just got one more question for you, and it's a little bit more about what you're planning on doing at the show. I mean, I don't know too many details, so please, it'd be great to elaborate on exactly what this media partner lounge that you're hosting and putting together is all going to be about.
Okay, cool. So last year at FS Expo, I had a booth, and I was very, very humbled at the number of people who just walked to the booth to just say hello and say thank you for what you've done for the community. So I was thinking about it, and I ran the idea by Evan. I said, Evan, why don't we create something for all content creators, not just a booth for Q8 Pilot, but a booth for all content creators to stream and for all their fans to come and greet them and say hello to them. So this idea came about of creating the creator den, if you will, and it's going to be a den, and it looks like it's going to be really nice. So it's going to be a venue for content creators to stream, but also to meet their fans. And there's going to be some really nice picture opportunities there as well. So that's what I plan to do. I plan to stream. That's what we do best, and meet and greet all the fine folks over at the show. Yeah, that's the idea behind it.
Amazing. It's really fascinating because I'm at these shows and I'm running around and stuff, and I'm seeing all you guys doing all your live streaming and stuff, and the amount of people who come up to you asking for like selfies and wanting to just meet the people that they see on stream. So having a single place where you're all going to be, obviously you're going to be milling around and stuff in the show, but that's really cool that there's a really loads of photo opportunities as well.
Yeah, we were super excited that we could actually pull this together and just make it a home for the content creators at the show. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
All right.
So I think it's about time. What do you think?
I think so. Would you like to see some 2024 Flight Sim Expo exhibitors? All right. We will
Oh, yeah.
bring on the video, and then we may find a couple friends while we're waiting. But for now, let's play the reveal of the 2024 Flight Sim Expo exhibitors.
Thank you very much, and I just want to confirm the squawk code that you gave me is 5214. Is that right? Citation 144 Mike Alpha.
Citation 4 Mike Alpha negative squawk code is 4214.
4214. Thank you. Have a great day. Citation 144 Mike Alpha.
There we
Wow,
have it.
wow, wow.
What do we think, guys?
Yeah, it's
It's a
really
lot.
nice. Yeah, it's pretty
There's a
cool.
lot.
Absolutely crazy. Wow.
Ah, yeah. There we go.
I'm going to be like a kid in a candy shop. I can see that.
I see a lot of new names
I
though
agree with
from
that.
versus
Yeah,
last year.
very exciting.
Yeah, we found some friends, by the way. You guys may have noticed that we have a few more people on the stream now.
Hello,
Say hi.
hello.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hey,
What's
everybody.
going
How
on,
you doing?
world?
This is
Hello,
awesome.
world. Yeah, this is awesome. I don't
So
know.
this-
Let me just. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so this is the biggest reveal trailer thing that these guys have had in the 7 years that they've been doing Flight Sim Expo, and yeah, there's just such a cool mix of different companies here that it's just gonna be a load of fun.
And like, where do we start? There's so many, right? It's you know, I remember like being there last year was like, okay, you nearly needed the 2 days to get around and say hi to everyone, and like,
Yeah.
Evan, we need more than 2 days.
Well, you got 3
Is it a
now.
week-long event, Evan? Is that possible?
Say again.
Wow.
You can make it like
Yeah.
a week-long event, maybe.
Yeah,
one
I
day,
know. I
that could be
wish.
cool.
I wish.
Yeah.
And-
I was
And
watching.
Evan, this is only a few of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's more to come.
Yeah,
That's the
actually,
thing.
so we these are people who registered by March 9th, so we've actually added about 10 since the video, and Phil has just told me that those are live on our website. If you want to have a look, you'll actually see some more names that weren't even in the video yet, which is crazy. And we have until May 31st for people to register to exhibit. So if you are a
Oh,
flight
wow.
sim developer or a community or a virtual airline and you want to be at this show, please register. You have like 2 months to do it, and you can join them and be part of what is likely to be the biggest show we have ever had.
Wow. Wow.
It's very
It was-
interesting to see some competing products there. The wing, what do you call them? The
Wing
ones with
wing.
the
Win wing.
Wing.
yeah,
Wing
wing
wing.
and mini cockpit. And then I know that Say Intentions and Beyond ATC are also in the show this year, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
it is, and it's really interesting because I'm thinking that the show maybe for the first time we're really going to be able to have a look and assess just how much of an impact AI is really going to have on the sim.
Very
Absolutely.
curious to see how it's going to play out. It's very cool.
Yeah, I was going to say that what I like about what I just saw is the fact that, yeah, we're flight simmers and we're streamers and we're only one part of the community. There's so much more here for other parts of the flight sim community that usually we don't really see online as much. There's so many just cockpit makers, the lectures that are probably coming up and so forth. So even if you have friends who have never been and they're like, well, I don't watch anybody live stream on YouTube, you can say, still come. There's a lot more here for you to see than what you normally see. And that's what we're looking at. So I like that part.
No,
Absolutely.
very interesting. What I look for in AI, what I hope for is when I buy a peripheral, I don't have to configure it. AI will say, oh, here's all the buttons and here's all the mappings. Go for it. It's going to save me half my lifetime.
Can you imagine? It'd be so nice.
I hope it does. But I remember from last year as well, like there's a lot of the kind of like the toolbox talks as well. I mean, there is so much to see. I mean, you have the developers, you have content creators, and then you have flight simmers. I mean, for me, that's the biggest draw to this. It's getting to meet up with people, and you learn so much just chatting outside of our environment of streaming. When you get to chat to someone in person, it's great to kind of share ideas and just have a bit of fun. It's great. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm just hoping that we're going to get some more people for VR. Virtual reality. We need more VR representation, in my opinion, at these shows. So you VR people out there, get hold of Evan, book your slot, because VR in simulation at least is a growing business.
Yeah, the VR experience
for
y'all
sure.
had last year was great. So hopefully we can get something like that again.
It's coming back. Confirmed. I know Pimax is confirmed for that. I think I probably shouldn't just make things up on the spot. There's more though. I know there's a few more. I just don't want to say names without knowing I can say them. But we will bring back the VR experience then, run by Rick Parker from Next Level XR, the same guys who did it last year. With a big shout out to SimFab and MSI Computers for helping to sponsor and set that all up. But that will definitely be back. So if you want to try out a whole pile of different VR setups, those will totally be there on site again for us as well.
Oh
yeah.
I like also that the flight schools are taking notice of our community. I think it's super important, and I want to see more of that. Honestly, I think that so many people in our community want to be real world pilots, and to have the flight schools there to show them the way. I think that's the perfect next step to go from our
Yeah.
community to real world aviation.
Yeah, I
I
remember
agree. The
one of my
correlation is there. I totally agree.
favorites from Houston. I had reached out to a bunch of flight schools in Houston, and like nobody wanted to even talk to me. And I remember I was on the phone with one of them, and the guy didn't even want to give me the time of day. And then on the Saturday night, I think in Houston, he like calls me up in a panic, and he's like, "Can I please come on Sunday? I totally screwed this up." And we managed to get a booth for him, I think, on Saturday night. And he was there Sunday, like literally selling Discovery flights. And I was like, "Thank you. Like you totally understand. Like there's so many people who are at this show who also want to be pilots, or if nothing else, would
Yes.
just do a Discovery flight. Like, come on, people, pay attention."
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me go back to the location first. I know you guys were talking about what you can do in Vegas. Location. This is going to be my fourth FlightSimExpo. And just first of all, having it at the same place that you're going to be staying at the hotel, newly renovated Rio, new rooms if you love that stuff, new carpet smell. There's going to be restaurants and bars on the site. This is a chance for you guys have enough time to rebook your vacation and make this a vacation, because I know some of these guys I was talking to earlier, but I'm going to be there day before and a few days afterwards, just completing a whole thing, just to not just go to the show, but to enjoy Vegas and see it, in all its glory. There's a Grand Canyon close by. So the location of this FlightSimExpo, I think, there was a debate as to where it was going to be next. And at first I'm like, Vegas. Then I'm like, it's Vegas. It's Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm not even renting a car the first couple of days. I don't need to.
No.
You guys can go right from the hotel. What is it, like a 10, 15-minute drive to the hotel, if that much?
Yep.
I looked this up. There's set rates from the airport to that specific hotel, and it's very cheap in taxi. So it's a good spot.
And also, if you had pre-booked at the Tropicana beforehand, and correct me if I'm wrong, Evan, but there's a $25 gift voucher, but taxi voucher for shared stuff, shared Ubers and stuff to the hotel. So that makes it easier. And also, again, to highlight the fact everything is going to be at the hotel. You're staying at the hotel. The seminars are going to be in the hotel. The exhibition hall's in the hotel. It's all in one central place. So there's no needing to have to worry about commuting from your hotel to another place as well to see all these exhibitors.
Yep, there's like 15 or more bars and restaurants, not including the food hall, which in itself has like 7. And then, of course, we'll have concession stands on the show floor Saturday, Sunday. So if you don't want to even leave the exhibit hall, you can stay there for the entire day and you're pretty much looked after. And then in addition to that, everyone who's booked at our room block at the Rio, you'll have access to that $25 F&B voucher. So that'll either apply to stuff in the hotel or you can do Uber Eats. We haven't quite figured out how we're going to work that yet. We're still going through those details with the hotel, but there'll be lots and lots to eat and do without ever having to leave the Rio. And then, of course, we'll have our activities as well.
So I'm going to throw a question out to all of you guys here. We've seen the list now, super overwhelming, and I'm sure it's going to take a few days to kind of process everything. But if you were to want anything from anyone who's exhibiting, what would you want to see? Not necessarily a specific person or like product, but like how would you like them to represent themselves at the show? What would you expect to see? Like, what would you envision like the best booth setup to be? Just to maybe give them some ideas and inspiration whilst they've still got a bit of time to plan.
Well, let me shout out I&I Builds from the last expo. As Camden Canada knew, they have a whole setup with you could sit in a room in surround sound and a huge screen to surround you. They were showing off the JFK and the A300 at the time. A presentation like that alone just wows you.
I agree.
But specifically, proper hands-on. You know what I mean? There you go. Exactly. Proper hands-on. I did call out X-Plane for not having a big enough booth where you can have multiple stations where people can come and experience the sim.
That's exactly
4 or 5 stations. That's what I'd recommend. That would be my thing.
The user interaction is so huge at events like this. So you nailed it 100%. The way that AnyBuilds did it, even the way that Microsoft did it, the way they had it set up last year with all of their PCs just running the simulator in the background. You could go sit down, fly for 5 or 10 minutes. The user interaction, that's what I think, that's what really sells an event like this, is allowing somebody to be able to either test your product hands-on, watch somebody use it, physically try it. That, in my opinion, it doesn't get any better than that. This is what really makes these expos.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Murph.
Thanks very much.
I agree that. I was just going to say that not only is it just the exhibitors, but for many people, flight sim is a fairly solo experience, particularly if you're a VR nut like me. And exhibition like this is just a great opportunity to meet other nuts as avid as you are, and to meet people with diverse backgrounds that share in your passion. Oh, it's fantastic.
It's the only place. It's the only place that I've found, in my opinion, was just where you can have something like that, right? I don't have too many friends that I grew up with in real life that are interested in flight sim, but I have hundreds of friends that I've met now through doing this, streaming, and being part of this community that just share the exact same passion. And this is the only place, really, in my opinion, where you can experience all of that in one spot for a weekend. You know.
For sure. And like, again, it's getting that opportunity to speak to the developers and the folks who even make the hardware, because it's a very kind of a safe environment, right? I mean, you're just chatting to them one-on-one. And you get great, feedback of what they're doing. In terms of the space on the floor and where you can go, I mean, I haven't said it yet, but like, it'll be interesting to see, Microsoft and X-Plane, I'm only thinking maybe a wrestling ring in the middle of it all.
Yes, exactly that.
But it could be interesting to see, because like X-Plane did have a great feature there, but so did Microsoft. And like that, you can go over, you can sit down, and the team is there. It's great to kind of just get involved in both,
This year should be really interesting too, with 24 coming out as well. Like, what's Microsoft going to do? Are they going to blow it up the weekend again? Because I don't know if any of you guys were there in 2019 in Orlando. I mean, E3 was going on at the same time. I think E3, right? And then Microsoft announced that they were coming back with Microsoft Flight Sim, and they weren't even at the expo, but the entire expo. That's all everybody was talking about. So I'd be curious to see how they're going to do it this year, how they're going to approach it. Are they going to set something up? Are they going to have 24 for all of us to try? And who knows, man? It's exciting. It's exciting time.
I think we're in a very different position than we were in 2019. I mean, we know the Sims here, and I think what they did last year was a nice balance. Obviously, they had their Xbox, Microsoft thing kind of early June, and then when they came to FlightSimExpo, they had their presentation. Yes, we knew about 24 ahead of time, but they were able to elaborate and answer community questions whilst kind of at the show. And that was like the perfect blend, I think. And it would be really great to see something very similar this year. I mean, I don't know what the floor plan is yet. I don't know if it's been updated, but I imagine I hope you can have like a nice big space for lots of people to try stuff out, whether that is the current sim or whether that be 24. Speaking of kind of like presentations and stuff, what about product announcements? Are you hoping
That's what I was gonna bring up. I'm hoping, and no one told me to say this, but if you're a developer and you're planning to be at the show, you have a product you're working on, I would say like legit announce it at Expo. Like last year, I'll be honest with you, I was a little disappointed that many developers were dropping trailers and sneak peeks like the week before Expo happened. Like, why wouldn't you just wait a week and do it live in front of everybody and then make it live to the world? Like I can't express the excitement and vibe that was in that hall room when the presenters were coming up there showing off their products and talking about deep diving and stuff like that. So like, if you have a product coming out, I would say you just announce it. Like, I think you guys did a great job of announcing like many products last year. It was just so good. So I would recommend hold your releases, hold your announcements, your releases to like the weekend of, showcase it live in front of all these people, get the standing ovations. It was amazing.
And when you hear when you hear the live reaction as well, I mean, you'll hear people gasp, some will laugh, you just hear whoa, like it's amazing to be a part of all of that. So yeah, it's a great point to have.
I think last year, for me at least, from my perspective, I think the winning product announcement was that of A2A.
Yes, A2A won the year.
That was the.
And what's cool
that
is
was just the bomb.
They weren't even there. Like, they didn't even have. You don't even have to come. I mean, it'd be great if you could. Like, Scott had something last minute, and Two-Tone, you stepped in real nice there and did an intro for them.
Right place at the right time. It was brilliant.
But like, that's the thing. It's like, some people are like, well, I don't know if I can make it to the show. Like, send me your trailer. We'll play it on the stage. It's going to be shown to 3,000 plus people. Like, come on,
Yeah.
you know, it's such a great opportunity. So obviously, yes, the best thing to do is to be there, because then you see the reaction live and you get to actually be up on the stage. Of course, if you're me, you have to go up on the stage and announce where the show is going to be, which is terrifying. But you know, if you're a flight sim developer, it is really great feedback to be able to do that live. And if you can't do it live, send us a trailer. We'll put it in Friday. It'll be a really great opportunity. Sorry, Q8, I totally cut you off, but Q8, I think I cut you off there. Sorry, man.
I was gonna say just one other thing I loved about that one specifically. I think the reason why it hit a little different, that 808 announcement, was not only was it a brand new product that we did not see coming in the way that it was, but also they had a respected content creator showcase it and
Yes.
like stand on stage and like represent it. I thought that was so cool, and I want to see more developers
That was
kind of
very
take
cool.
advantage
Yeah.
of members of the community who love products like that and have their own following to be able to express that and show off things. Like I love that whole combination to me, which is like perfect. Murphy did a great job.
Two-ton Murphy.
Two-tone Murphy.
Have a busy
No, like,
schedule.
it's a great point to make, though. Like, I mean, as content creators or streamers, or you know, just folks who do this sort of stuff, I mean, we do get a very unique perspective when it comes to add-ons, be it, you know, hardware, software, aircraft, scenery, because we're so kind of immersed in them. So when it comes to a developer wanting to show something off, it's who better to show it off than the people who pretty much do this all the time. Do you know what I mean? So, and there's a great variety of different attitudes, different styles, different content creators. So there's someone out there for every developer. I mean, that's what it's all about. Find someone who, you know, you're comfortable with, you can work with, and it just works.
It's true. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to
If
start.
you recall, in the last expo, you know, you came by the booth to say hello, and then we talked about this. And I remember one of the things we discussed is the power of the content creators, because if we collectively as content creators say that something isn't worth it, people are probably not going to invest in it.
True.
True. It's funny. I have this scene in my mind. The last time I saw you guys in person, it was Q8, Captain Canada, Blue Games. I think Murphy was there too. We're in the front of a 747 in first class having this discussion. How beautiful and magical was that?
Yeah.
And that's the magic of the expo that you guys get, with Q8 Pilot making this booth for all the content creators to kind of congregate, meet and greet, fly if we want, streamer if we want. That's magic for us, getting the feedback in person for what we do, because we're looking at a camera every day. We don't get to see you guys. We only see chat. For you guys seeing us coming up and saying hi and meeting us, it's electric. You know what I mean? And that's part of the fun of FlightSimExpo. As you were saying, you have 2 friends in life who likes playing, but over the internet you have 1,000 people, you know, and this is the beauty of it. So that said, Q8, in the booth for content creators, I need some extra pillows or something. I don't know. You know, but yeah, but that's going to be awesome. That's going to be something new, by the way. We kind of sort of had that before in 2019 with Jeff Fabiano, but this is going to be nice to have all of us people there in and about, just sharing, you guys saying hi and so forth. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Definitely.
Absolutely. So thinking about the exhibitors, I mean, we've talked a little bit about the hardware people, we've talked about the simulator people, the people who make the sims, but there's also opportunity for kind of like virtual airlines, community organizations like Vatsim to also be there. They've got a nice big booth as well. Are you excited to see them, and do you think they're really good ways to kind of kickstart maybe your journey into the world of Vatsim and other online communities?
Yeah, like the Vatsim stuff last year was just amazing. Like the whole room set up, all the controllers were there, and like you could literally stand over the shoulder, listen in, and see what they were doing. It's a great insight, because even when you do a bit of Vatsim from our perspective, a pilot's perspective, we don't see anything, we just hear them, and when you see what they're doing, be it with whatever scope software that they use, it's a great insight, and it kind of joins the dots for you. So yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
I think it's
a really cool experience. Yeah.
I'd say as far as virtual airlines, like I saw Southwest Virtual on the list, and I've been to multiple multiple events where they've had virtual airlines there, and I think it's super beneficial for virtual airlines to have a booth, have a presence, not only to congregate with their own communities, but bring more people into their community. Because one thing that, like we all said, is like we usually just here solo, right? We're here on our computer doing our own thing. We don't see anyone else. We don't meet anyone else. But when you join like a virtual airline, you join a community and you make friends within the community who can geek out about planes body like you know what I mean? And so that's just a great way, because you don't want to just go to the expo by yourself. Trust me, turn to your left, turn to your right, ask them, what's your favorite plane? You'll be talking for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the nice thing too for virtual airlines is it's free. So you can actually come to the show. You bring 6 people. There's no cost to you to have a booth. And this year we're actually taking that concept even a bit further. We're creating this online ATC display area. So Vatsim, but also virtual airlines will all kind of be in this one central spot on the show floor. So you'll be able to watch as the pilot's flying on the network, and then the controllers actually handling that flight all in one place. And I know a lot of the people on the stream, you'll be super familiar with Vatsim already, but there's plenty of people who come to this show. They're maybe brand new to flight simulation. That's usually about 25-30% of our audience. There'll be people who've never tried Vatsim before, and so a big part of FlightSimExpo is let's have you discover something new. Let's have you find something that you haven't seen before. And if we can show 20, 30, 40, 50 people Vatsim and just totally change their flight simming careers, and of course Vatsim is one example. What about content creators and what about hardware, right? That's what this show is all about.
Yeah. I had a good conversation. Sorry, I had a good conversation with Vatsim, and it was well needed face to face to clear up some things, get some clarification. And so you can come up and speak to your Vatsim controller, because I had Boston ARTCC was there. I think LA was there. Some of the major ones. You can go see the guy that you've been talking to for a year and a half online, who's been directing your airplane. Go say hi and just go say thank you, because these guys are volunteers. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So you get a chance to meet these guys in person. It was actually awesome. Sorry.
Yeah. And they have to deal with us all the time, right?
This is true. This is very true.
For free with that on top.
So I'm just going to very quickly shout out, it's not in my show notes, but also FS Elite have got a stage presence as well this year. So we've got kind of like a mini stage in the exhibition hall, in addition to obviously the big seminar rooms and stuff. But what we're really hoping to do is any developers who are announcing or showcasing products is to then get them up on stage and have a chat with them, maybe do some live product demos. So kind of all the things that you guys were talking about, what you would like to see at the show as well. So if you are a developer watching this, keep that in mind as well, because it'd be really cool to chat to you and obviously have like audience ask you questions there and then at the moment. And again, it's just a really cool opportunity to showcase your products, whether they're new or you've got new features as well. And obviously for the content creators as well, they can come along, ask you questions, talk about it in their streams to their audiences, and take questions from their communities as well. So yeah, there's going to be so much to do. We need like a week, not just the weekend.
Another thing that I liked a lot last year that I hope to see again this year was the on-the-floor events and giveaways. Like different booths were like, all right, if you come by Saturday at 5 o'clock, we're doing like this giveaway thing or showcasing of some new product. Like, they also had multiple people doing landing challenges. I know Captain Canada did one as well at the Thrustmaster booth. So like stuff like that, interactive things to do throughout the weekend, like if maybe you don't want to stand in line for that 320 cockpit, you can go do something else, So
I love
that.
There was lots of that last year as well. So you had all the announcements, which is great, but then on your Saturday, Sunday, just getting around to the booths and just meeting people out on the floor. Like I learned more walking around to some of the booths, just chatting to developers saying, what are you working on? They're like, yeah, look at this thing. And you're like, why didn't you tell everyone else this? So like, it gives you a great opportunity to get a lot of insight as well. Plus you can chat to the people. Look, we all share pretty much in the same hobby. We're all into aviation or flight simulation, and do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. My lights turned off, but they're back on now. It's being controlled by my own viewers, and they've loads of questions, but you can bring them nowhere.
That's great.
Well, I think the big challenge for Evan and Callum and what have you, for you guys to make this show a real success, is have a chat to Jorg at Microsoft and see if he can give away some preview copies of Microsoft 2024.
You might have to go
already out.
That'll
Like
draw
a
a
press room
crowd.
on the show floor for that. But
It might be a fire hazard.
you know what? I will say, like, what's really cool about the role that I get to play in this show, where I'm talking to a lot of flight sim developers, and that would include Jorg and Microsoft, and basically, I think it's pretty includes everybody. Is like everyone's just like indie cool people like us. They're all basically just flight simmers who kind of like started a project and it's now grown into something big. There's pretty much nobody who's like really corporate in this show, and everyone gets how important this show is for the community and how important it is for them to be there. And so whenever I speak to Jorg or really any of the developers, that's always what I'm talking about, is just the support there for bringing people together, for coming to FS Weekend, for coming to our show, FlightSimExpo. That is huge. And so I'm sure that Jorg and others will be just super excited to meet you as they were in the past. And when folks come to the show for the first time, like we were saying earlier, the reaction is always like, wow, I just can't believe people are so positive and so excited and all these great questions and all this great feedback. That's what we always hear from developers, and it's super nice to be able to see that.
Yeah. So we said at the top of the show that we had a big giveaway, which I think is now time to talk about, because we've been talking about how exciting the show is going to be. We've talked about how many exhibitors are going to be, talked a little bit about some of the activities as well. But obviously, we want as many people there as possible. But Q8 Pilot, I'm going to hand this one over to you and talk about what this exciting opportunity is going to be.
All right. So as part of giving back to the community that has given so much for me personally, I decided this year that I was going to do an all-paid trip to FS Expo, sponsored by the channel. And it's going to include the air ticket. It's going to be capped at $700 for the air ticket, a 3-day stay at the Rio, plus some vouchers for spending some money there as well. And that is my gift to the community for the endless support over the past 9 years.
Hey.
Can we enter as well?
Round of applause. Round of applause.
Round of applause.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
That is amazing.
Where do I enter?
you can enter, and you can probably win. We'll talk to Q8 about that if it comes up. Anyone can enter, and that includes whether you've registered before, whether you've not registered for the show yet. Please only enter if you really mean it. Like, I would love it to go to somebody like last year when we did this contest. It actually went to someone who never would have been able to come to the show if not for the contest, and they did come to the show, and it was fantastic. So anyone can enter if you've registered or not, and the URL to go to is FlightSimExpo.com/Q8Pilot. It is on the screen where we see it right now. Of course, you get an email. It'll be in our Discord later too. But that's the place you can go. You can enter extra points if you are an FSA member, extra points if you go and subscribe to the Q8 Pilot channel, and a few other ways you can get some bonus entries. But that is open right now to anyone in the world who wants to come to the show. And yeah, by all means, go ahead, enter everyone on the stream as well.
Can I just ask, what do people have to do to enter? Once they go to are there questions, or is it just a name or
name, email address? I think in some jurisdictions, like where I am in Canada, you have to answer a skill testing question for some reason. So it like automatically puts that in if you're in Canada, but not if you're in the US. It depends where you are, but nothing special, no payment required. It's open to everyone in the community who wants to come.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing. Big up.
No
That's
kidding.
awesome.
Yeah, and we started, this kind of started off as like what can we do to give back to the community, and we kind of put our minds together and thought about this project. But I think it'd be a really cool thing for anyone to win, but especially if there's somebody out there who's like, I really want to come to the show, and this would make all the difference, like it was last year. Total chance that happened, by the way, but it was really neat to see. So please do enter that contest, FlightSimExpo.com/Q8Pilot, and a big thank you, not just for that, but for the Media Partner Lounge and all the support and basically helping us spread the word, because we have no audience without you guys.
Absolutely.
My absolute pleasure.
Amazing. So obviously coming to Vegas is also a big deal, but there are media partners as well who are going to be in attendance, and I assume everyone on this stream is going to be there.
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll be there. Awesome.
Just trying to figure out my plans, but I think I might be there.
Oh, we hope you're there.
Yeah, I hope so.
Phil hopes you're there.
Can you imagine if I just didn't show up?
Don't touch wood. Gosh. But obviously, there are other media partners out there as well, and again, you can go check them out on the partners page. And all of us are going to do the best job that we possibly can to try and bring as much of the show in Vegas to you guys who aren't able to attend. So whether you are going to get the online only add-on and watch all the seminars through that, but also obviously ourselves at FS Elite are going to be doing show floor tours, as I'm sure any of the content creators there are going to be doing. Everyone's going to be trying to cover everything, because as a media outlet, there is no way I'm going to be able to send me and my team to the 60, 70, 80, however many exhibitors there are going to be to have touch points on everything. So this is why we have such an amazing media partner collaboration between all of us to try and cover as much as we can. And everyone's got their own skill sets, and there's just going to be so much content to watch as well. So if you aren't able to attend, do try your best or enter Q8's amazing contest. But if all else fails, then make sure you follow each and every one of the media partners that are going to be attending, because we are all going to do our best to make sure that we cover as much content as we can for you. I think we can do that in between everything else that's going on in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Lots of shorts and Instagram posts. There you go.
Yes,
Just say a 24-hour bar. Yeah, there is a 24-hour bar. I heard that twice.
Okay, so we have just a few more minutes left. I don't know if anyone's got any questions from their chats they want to kind of bring up or ask Evan to just clarify. If you don't, I do have a couple here, as you maybe prepare some. So the first question we had from Long Haul Captain was whether there would be opportunities to buy hardware during the show. Evan, you're probably the best one to answer that one, I think.
Yeah, I think we certainly keep trying to push this point on developers, and it is hard because they've got to bring a whole bunch of hardware. But when we were at FS Weekend, I just love the fact that, like, fortunately it helped that the company was local. But I think FlightSim Webshop had this like amazing like stand where you could literally like buy stuff. It was like walking into like a flight simulation store, and I would love to see that at our show. I always encourage developers to please bring inventory if they're willing to do it. I think we're seeing more of that happening than we've ever seen before, which is really cool. And I know you at SoFly also have been able to kind of do that. But I say, like, worst case, if you can't bring a bunch of inventory, bring 5, 6, 7, couple of pieces, and then give people a place where they can buy and it gets shipped right back to them. If they don't have the ability to bring stuff back in their carry-on, that's a good way to do it as well. So we definitely encourage exhibitors to sell on the floor. We welcome them to do it. We try to make it really easy. We cover some of the sales tax logistics to make that actually happen. But at the end of the day, of course, it is up to the individual developers to make that happen, and we hope they'll keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these places, all the feedback I always seem to get is people want to buy stuff at these shows. They've come all this way, they've tried it for the first time and they fall in love instantly with it, and they just want to buy it there and then. So any opportunity is a must for anyone who is exhibiting to offer that opportunity. Show discounts. That's another great thing that we see at these shows, typically up to like 20, 30, 40% off some of your favorite hardware or software. So again, more reasons to come. Did anyone have any questions from their chats they want to put forward?
I've one here. Gibbo's asking for the booths, right? For all the individual booths that are there, is there anything that FS Expo can do to kind of showcase what they're doing, or is it very much up to the content creators, or as Callum said, FS Elite trying to get around to everyone? Is there anything there if folks on their booths have announcements to make, or is that only really captured, if you like, on the Friday?
No, we've got lots of opportunities. Great question, Gibbo. Thanks for that. So first of all, you can put that in the description of your booth on our website. Just reach out to us. We also have our exhibitor announcement designed for Saturday, Sunday stuff. So those can be done on the stage or they can be done at your booth. If you let us know about it, we put it in the event schedule so people know where and when to find you. And we do like a Discord ping whenever that announcement is happening. And then the other thing that you can do is spread the word with your own community. So reach out in your Discord, post on your social media. Anyone that you know of who's coming to the show, who's one of your customers, one of your followers, like tell them, hey, at this time, come back to my booth. We saw this with AnyBuilds last year where they had an announcement, I think on the Sunday, and it was kind of low key. Like we hadn't actually put it out there in the exhibitor announcement, but they basically just said, this is going to happen. And of course, 5 people start crowding around the booth, and then it becomes 10. And then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes later, there's just this massive crowd of people because everyone's going, hey, what's going on over there? And then they played the trailer and it was really well done. And they did it with like pretty much no advance advance warning, which was perfectly fine. So lots of different ways to do that. Details on that would be in our partner opportunities doc, or you can reach out to me directly. But those are a couple of the ways that we'll be trying to let everyone know what all is going on. Of course, the challenge becomes like managing that, because there is so much going on the show floor. But anything that you tell us about, we will communicate back to the attendees, usually somewhere on the event schedule.
Nice, nice.
And to add to that, tell your media partners.
Yes.
We can help spread that word. So if you don't tell us, we're not going to be, if that you do something at your booth, then tell us, so then we can come to your booth and do something about it, or come to our stage, or whatever way works best for you. Just make sure you tell your media partners as well, so we can help spread that word.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I like the idea of mentioning your Discord. If you guys haven't joined the FSA Discord yet, you're saying, Evan, during the show, you guys will be doing updates and notifications about what's going on the floor through the Discord.
Yeah,
your
exactly.
Discord. Yeah, so if you guys haven't joined yet, join the FSA Discord if you're going to be at the show, or when you're at the show, so you can see, because there's so much to look at. You can easily miss a lot of things that's going on the show, because it gets so packed, so loud, so crowded, that join the Discord and you guys can be able to, get a chance to see what's coming up, something that you might be interested in and miss if you don't get notified. So join the Discord, definitely.
100%. We had another question just come through. It's a very quick one. The question is, and I think this is even asked in here, will Austin from Explain be at the show?
I had that question too.
And I've got it in my little chat thing here. Yes, he'll be coming, and he is hosting a aircraft building seminar.
Yes.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
literally with laptops and joysticks, he is going to walk you through how to build an airplane in X-Plane, and then you are going to watch him fly it, and you're going to build your own airplane, and you're going to fly it in the span of hopefully about 90 minutes. And that'll be happening both days, Saturday and Sunday, totally free. That'll be one of the many activities that you can sign up for at the show, and that'll be a lot of fun.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
The question is, are we going to be able to ask Airsoft questions? And the answer is, yeah, they're going to be there. You get to say all you need to say. Be respectful. Ask as much questions as you want. There you go.
I have one unpopular question, maybe for our community, but is there going to be a presence from DCS or Eagle Dynamics this time?
I would love them to be there. I've reached out every year. We continue to reach out. I think they kind of had a small presence previously, but it was like unannounced back in 2019. Have not heard anything from them officially. Would love for them to be there. I've also tried to reach out to like some of the local squadrons just to get like some kind of a presence. But here, and this applies to kind of any question about, will Exhibitor X be at the show? The best thing y'all can do is reach out to them and post on their forums and try to get their attention, because I will do the best job that I can, but I can tell you from experience, sometimes even just like one or two people sending a ping to a developer, then when I reach them again that week, they're like, you know what, people keep asking me about this show, and I'm like, good, yeah, let's talk, and finally we get their interest. So nothing confirmed there yet. I'm still trying, and if you have a line to them, if you're on their forums, if you know of any way to get their attention, please do that and tell them that they should be at this show, because that's the one, that's kind of the one missing platform I would say at this stage. We've got basically all the other big ones there. Would be nice to get them out to the show one year.
I will send the troops.
Yes. Seriously, that's what it takes, and it works.
Be amazing to have DCS there. Absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. Guys, listen, this has been an incredible hour. We've learned so much about the show. We've learned about who's going to be there. We've learned how we can win an all expenses paid trip to get to the show. And there is still going to be so much more news to come. Like Evan said at the very beginning of the show, in about 2 weeks, hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about some of the activities that's going to happen during the weekend in Vegas. And also we still got to learn all about the seminars and announcements that's going to take place over the weekend. So make sure you do keep an eye on all your media partners for the latest information about what is to come, because there is still going to be so much more news all about FlightSimExpo 2024. Evan, I'm going to hand it back to you to wrap things up, how people can get tickets, and also why they need to book their tickets before April 1st.
Yes, absolutely. So FlightSimExpo.com is the place to register. You can enter the contest, but I would definitely register if you're planning to come to the show before April 1st. The reason is our best pricing of the year. We extended that. It would normally have gone up on March 1st, but to celebrate the venue announcement and everything else that was going on, we've extended it for another month. So this is the best time to get tickets to the show. And if you do that before April 1st, you'll be saving a little bit of cash for those prices go up. If you have more questions, I can see the chat, by the way. Love the chat. Thank you so much for being so kind and welcoming. Lots of good questions, comments, suggestions. If we haven't gotten back to you on there, please join us in Discord. I'll be there answering your questions later today. Phil, Jonathan, and other members of our team, happy to answer more of your questions. The place to go for tickets and details, and now our full partner list, is FlightSimExpo.com. And I think maybe we'll just leave people with one more run through of that awesome trailer that Callum did. By the way, this was all him. Like, I didn't even do anything. I just said, hey, Callum, here's a bunch of exhibitors. Can you make me a nice video? And like a day later, this beautiful trailer comes out, and lots of cool footage and stuff in there. So I think we'll maybe leave people with that, as well as that link to FlightSimExpo.com/Q8Pilot to register. Does that sound good to you guys?
Sounds great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, again, big thanks to all of you in the chat for commenting along, for those of you following us, all of our media partners, of course, those of you on the screen, Callum for the beautiful video. We will see you all in Las Vegas. And to wrap things up once more, here are the 2024, at least the first round of confirmed exhibitors.
Thank you very much, and I just want to confirm the squawk code that you gave me is 5214. Is that right? Citation 144 Mike Alpha.
Citation 4, Mike Alpha negative, squawk code is 4214.
4214, thank you. Have a great day. Citation 144 Mike Alpha.